Welcome to the Farm Lab. We're going to do some seed saving today. Before we start our seed saving, we have some of our seed saving tools and equipment. I got some pruners here to snip off some seed heads. We've got our various containers to collect them in the field. I like to use clean and dry containers. So we got some containers here and a big container here that we could use to collect the seed. And then once we collect the seed, then we'll come back and we'll clean them and we'll use our screens and some other bins to do that process. Now, into the field. So we're going to start with an easy one, dill. So what we're looking for are these dried seeds. Now they're usually brown and they're usually going to be brittle to the touch. And we want to do our seed saving in the middle of the day after they've had a time to dry. That way they're nice and dry, ready to go. So here we go. Just going to prune it off there. And you can see we got a whole head there of seed, and then we'll save that one and I'll show you how to clean that in a moment. So now we've got this basil, and you can see the white flowers on the basil. So remember, seeds come from flowers. So we got white flowers, and then they start turning green, and then eventually they start turning brown. And so inside these brown ones, we should see some seeds. So I think I see a brown head right here. So I'm going to prune that. And I just dropped it. So we got a brown head here, stem full of seed. And I'm going to just leave it in the bucket from there, and then we'll get back to cleaning that at the end. So the next seed here that we have is tobacco, or sema as it's called in Ojibwe or Anishinaabemowin. And so they have these dried heads, and you can actually hear them and see them falling there. So in one head we have hundreds of seeds, which is amazing. So the next one we're going to see about here is this red shiso. So it's actually quite similar to the basil. They're all in the broader mint family. And so I'm going to try to find some brown ones, and usually the further down the plant, the more ripe they are. And I'm going to see if they're ready yet. And I'm not seeing any seeds in there. Now, do you know what? I think I saw a bunch of birds hanging on them earlier this week. So the birds might be getting at them. Let's smell that.
Oh, okay. That smells really good.
Yeah. So I'm going to try a few more, and we'll see if we can get some seed in there. Ah, yes, I'm seeing some seed falling in. So we'll clean those later. Now this one here is called shungiku, an edible chrysanthemum. And there's a bug on it. So once again, we're all doing dried flower heads right now, so it's a particular type of seed, like family type group of seeds. So we're looking for the flowers. You see a nice little flower there. And then as the flowers begin to dry down, you can see them in different stages, and eventually the seeds will have formed there, and we can get them, pop the head open, and then we got a bunch of seeds. So all the dark brown dried seed heads are what we're looking for. So we'll just do a couple there just to show you how to do it. Down here, we've got strawberry spinach. They form these little red fruits, and then inside the fruits there's these little red seeds. So this produces a edible berry and an edible leaf. It's very cold hardy, so it's one of those early spring crops and something we can grow deep into the fall. Then it overwinters, and then it comes up the following spring. And I'm basically just collecting all these little dried fruits that have a ton of little seeds on them. And then I crush those fruits, and they form little seeds there. And this one up here is another fun one, which is lettuce.
Oh, lettuce.
So it looks almost like a little dandelion. And so once they start opening up, these heads start opening up, then the seeds are ready. And what happens if we don't collect them is that the seeds will start blowing around throughout the garden. So there's hundreds of lettuce seed there. And then over here we've got Cosmos, another dried flower head. So we got flowers, they're drying. I think the birds love this one, so I'm not finding a lot of seed. So we gotta come and get them when they're ready, otherwise we won't get any because the birds will get them all. One more up here while I'm here, our sunflower. And you can see the sunflowers starting to bloom.
This one's just gonna say this.
And I'm gonna
This one's gonna get a big sticker. So that
cut a head there.
have all the information.
And this is a good looking one here.
It's like organic.
Well, sign.
So you can see the seeds in there, the black seeds.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a lot too.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I'm gonna leave a bunch of the rest for the birds, but we've got to save some ourselves so that we could plant them next year. So let's see what else we could find in the garden here. So far we've got strawberry spinach, we've got lettuce, cosmos, sunflower, red shiso, dill, basil, and tobacco. So we've got almost 8 different types of seed that we've collected. Let's see what else we can find. So now we've done a lot of dried flower heads. So another type of seed that is very, very common in the garden are seeds from pods. So this is arugula. You can actually eat the arugula flower, the white flower there. And the flowers will turn into these green little pods. I think you got some right here. They'll turn into those green pods, and then they'll dry into these brown pods. And then from these brown pods, we can crack them open, and you'll hear the seed shattering. So again, with pods, just like dried flower heads, we're looking for brown and brittle to the touch. So these pods, they have, 5 to 10 seeds in each pod. And they naturally shatter. So we can actually see some arugula growing underneath here too. Like these plants there, those are arugula that are growing from seeds that shattered.
Okay.
And something I want to draw your attention to as well is look at this plant here. It actually looks very similar to lettuce. It's got the white,
Right, yeah.
it's got all those seeds there. And I'm going to save some, but I'm pretty sure this is wild lettuce.
Oh, okay.
And see them there, all those little seeds with the fluff? So that is, some people might call that a weed in our garden.
Oh, okay.
So we don't want the weeds setting their seeds, otherwise we'll have to be pulling these up for years at a time. So I'm just going to carefully collect these seed, and then we can come and cut down the plant so that we're not having to do more weeding in the future. So seed saving, sometimes it's about saving the seeds you like, and sometimes it's about preventing the seeds you don't like from going to seed in your garden. So I'm just going to pop it over here for now, off to our side in our wild area. Some other seeds that we'll be doing seed saving from in the garden are these ground cherries, which are the sweet fruits. This one I'm going to eat though. But if you ever find a ripe fruit, some of these here have been stepped on. This one was stepped on in the path. If you open it up, you can see the seeds inside. So for plants like wet fruits like tomatoes or ground cherries or tomatillos, that's a different process for seed saving. What I like to do is fill up a bin of water, and then I'll squeeze it into the water, and then the seeds will sink to the bottom, and then you can pour the water off. So that's saving seeds from wet fruit. So there's this huckleberry down here, which is another one of those fruits that we could save seed from. So I'm gonna just grab a couple. That way we can be sure to collect some seed. A lot of these seeds will be growing and sharing in our seed library inside the public libraries. So now that we've collected a bunch of seeds, we can go over and do some seed cleaning.